Diggs Nation. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Peanut Butter Magic. We got something real special for you guys tonight. Tonight, we are breaking away from the music business and heading down a little road called comedy. I brought one of my friends with me today that's also getting into the stand-up comedy world. I can't wait to introduce you guys to him. We'll be right back.
It's the Peanut Butter Magic Show. It's the Peanut Butter Magic Show.
All right, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon Austin. I got my co-host with me tonight, Sway Low. Diggs, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. How you?
Man, I'm doing great for Sunday. How the Titans doing today? They didn't play. Wait. They didn't play, did they?
No,
because they stomped
today
on Thursday.
Yes, man. Yes, they put that whooping on them.
Yes, they did.
Bay, I ain't mad at nobody right now. Tighten up.
Yeah, that's right, man. I watched that game. That was a good game, man.
It was, man.
Woo.
Very good. Yeah, you never know what can happen when you got Aaron Rodgers running your offense, but Titans smacked them down.
Yeah, they did, man. Woo, it was good. It was real good.
Beautiful.
Georgia came to Kentucky and they stomped us.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yesterday. Yeah.
So I guess it's safe to say you guys aren't gonna make a bowl game.
It's not looking that way. Not looking that way.
We got beat yesterday too, man. Don't feel too bad.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it was ugly.
I saw that too. I was getting excited because Tennessee was kicking for a while, but
yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly.
Man. Well, speaking of ugly,
yeah,
we have the exact opposite with us today. We just starting out. I can't come out with the insults yet. So, oh man, today I got my friend with me, Walter Richardson. Walter, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing today?
We chilling, man. Chilling all as well.
Oh yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming on today. I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Titans in the playoffs too. I know y'all talking that mess with the Packers, but that don't mean nothing. We'll see y'all soon. Don't worry. I can go through us.
Oh man.
Last year you got lucky.
That's right.
Hey, I'm surprised y'all ain't killed that man Tannehill. That was crazy.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think he did enough to himself in the offseason, man. Yeah, I mean, so.
Man. So Walter, you and I met at a open mic here in Lexington. You drove down from Cincinnati to Taco Tuesday and threw out some jokes, did a pretty good job. Now we're shooting some of your sets, and I'm really just curious what got you into comedy in general. Like, start us from the very beginning and tell us how you got to where you are now.
When it comes to comedy, I've always been a fan of comedy since I was young, middle school, Kings of Comedy days, seeing Bernie Mac have his own spinoff show, seeing the rise of like Deion Cole, and even Ali Sadiq more recently. I just haven't been a performer of the game until the last year, mainly because I'm scared shitless. Who wants to get on stage, say something that I think is hilarious, and have the risk of people looking at you like you're a dumbass? But my good friend Harrison Butler, he convinced me otherwise. Talked to him after seeing him doing his thing for a while, and I got up on stage. But yeah, I remember loving comedy specials since sneaking the VHS tapes of Kings of Comedy, getting beat my ass with by my mom. Seeing who else? If it wasn't DL Hughley, it wasn't Bernie Mac, it was Eddie Murphy's old stuff, just whatever I could get my hands on. When I got of age, actually watch what I want, it started to become more and more of the younger crowd, like I said, Deion, Ali, some Kevin Hart when he first started off. And it just grew from there, and finally got my ass on stage. But yeah, I've always loved comedy. It's tough to get up there, man.
Yo, for sure. What was your first night like?
First night was actually really well. I was scared shitless. It was at Hi-Fi on the Jack Snodgrass before we left for Chicago, and I remember I had 2-3 days in a row just practice what I was gonna say for 4 minutes 30 seconds.
Yep.
And to my surprise, they were laughing throughout all of it. I was talking about just nonsense, stupid shit. And then I realized it doesn't matter exactly what you're talking about. It matters more about the ideas you're conveying and just the presence on stage.
For
And
sure.
once I realized that, it got more fun. But yeah, that was the first night was Hi-Fi back in March, April this year. So I'm still not even a full year in, but it's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun so far.
Well, you seem pretty confident when you're on stage. You've got your own like swag to you. You're kind of chill. You're kind of laid back. Your punchlines are always delivered pretty clearly. Like I'm surprised to hear really that you've only been doing this since March.
I'm surprised too. I'm still progressing. I think the main thing that's getting me, I guess, confidence is knowing that all day, every day, I think of stupid shit that I can't help.
Yeah.
Just on the way over here, I was thinking about how, not over here, but like I was early this morning, why is it that we have automatic toilets? Like, who's operating the toilets? And one side of my head saying, dumbass, it's a motion sensor. Other half is saying, well, hold on now. It could be someone downloading our backside. It could be someone we don't know in China looking at our ass to see who has the best ass and trying to bid him for highest bidder. I don't know. But shit like that pops in my head, and then I find a way to just make it some jokes on stage. And so far, so good, but I got progress to make.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my first night on stage, I did the same thing. Like I got 3 minutes and I was just like pacing around in my house, just back and forth. I hit the start on the stopwatch and I'd go through my script that I was going to go through the night. And when the alarm hit 3, I knew I needed to trim something. And so I got on stage and delivered my 3 minutes. I didn't take a breath. I didn't stop for nothing. I don't even know if people laughed. I had 3 minutes and I need to get all this out.
How do you think it went for you? Did it go well for you or what?
I got through my 3 minutes, so I think it went fine. I did hear a couple laughs, but I don't know if they were laughing at my joke or just my nervous pacing back and forth on the stage. It's not, I don't think it was that great. I've tried to retell those jokes and, they haven't gone so well. So I have to assume it was not a good first impression.
Okay, keep shooting. I keep learning, keep shooting.
That's right, man. That's right. Sway is he's a rapper, singer, producer extraordinaire. And he spent a lot of time in New York going to open mics and not for comedy, but for music. So he's got some experience with going on stage for the first time and trying to entertain. And I don't know if this is going to work or not, right?
Yeah. It's back when I used to do open mics, I called it chasing ambulances because you did it's like a lawyer at an emergency room. The ambulance roll up and they hand you your card, then get some work. It was kind of similar to that. I would go to open mics to sing in hopes to land a gig. You know what I mean? So, and it was interesting. It was in New York. Did a lot of it in New York City, and so I know how it can be to go to like a strange place that you probably normally wouldn't frequent and deliver your gifts to people in hopes that they like it. You know what I mean? What's your style like? What's your comedy style? Because I'm a huge fan of stand-up. I watch a lot of it. And Brandon and I, we compare notes a lot. Have you seen this guy? Have you seen this guy? So although I'm not a comedian, in the form that you guys are, I love the art form. What is your style? What kind of style do you bring to the stage?
I would say I'm still learning it, but so far it's been more about random things we don't think about that actually make a difference in our days. That's kind of like my natural sticking point for jokes, because you could joke about politics, which is tested and proven, but it's tough. And I don't really care that much about politics. What I care about is stuff that I don't care about. Like, I don't care that most group of girls twerking probably have stank air around them, but I can't stop thinking about, is it true? How are we going to study this? And shit like that is like, this is not something my brain should be moving towards, but since it's already there, I might as well make some funny out of it. That's where my jokes come from. I can't joke about politics because it's like, I don't know, man. You start, it's funny to hear people talk about abortion jokes and shit, but it's also like, ooh, the whole room just shifted.
It can be a slippery slope for sure.
I ain't there yet.
Yeah. Now, what about your process? Like, what's your joke writing process? How do you start and get to the punchline?
Premises. If I'm driving or if I'm at work and something hits me, I like to go in my notes, write down the premise of it, the summary. For example, one of my first jokes is like, if I had a chance to talk to God. And when I wrote that joke in my notes, it basically just says, why God, why? But in my head, it basically means, why are insects freaky? Why were you watching, war and just chilling up there? And just I don't know how it works for other people, but in my head, if I have the main idea written down, I can go back in the sublets and all the different kind of intricate details of the joke. But I'm still learning how to get my joke writing process better because I've forgotten so many jokes I feel like are good just because I wrote them down in a weird way. So I'm still learning, but my process right now is write down the main sentence.
Do you build your punchlines from when you just start from there and then you build your punchlines as you go?
As I go, I'm still trying to have a joke have a beginning, middle, end. Right now, my jokes have a beginning, a middle, and a slight end. I don't have heavy finishers. That's the hardest part. I feel like writing jokes is the punchlines. I have funny premises, but getting to a funny punchline, I probably got 3 jokes like that versus the, 40, 50 I wrote down so far. It's tough, man, writing jokes. I'm realizing that the more I talk to people, the more I'm trying it. But the positive thing I'm seeing from it is the more you focus on it, the more you just think about little things. It gets a little easier as time goes on.
Okay.
Do you sit and write, or do you just, whenever something naturally pops out, then you sit down and write it down?
When it naturally pops in my head, I take a moment, write it down real quick. It usually don't take more than about 5 minutes because most of the time it hits me, I'm already on the run doing something. But inspiration I found so far has been one of 3 sources: watching people drive, my kids, and then just women in general, man. Women, not your wife, your lady, but a group of women together. If you ever have a chance to just study them, it's the most hilarious shit ever, man. Their conversations are always important because they're talking about life, relationships, but they fucking congregate about the dumbest shit and they nitpick about the dumbest things. I'm not trying to be a sexist, but all right, the group of friends I'm thinking of, my wife and her girlfriends, they get together, talk about things like bills and shit like that, but it's I'm trying to save money and I'm thinking of my Starbucks bill and I look at it, paying $48 a month. I'm like, you ain't spending $48 a fucking month. Ain't no fucking way. Because my boy, which is the girlfriend, said, you spent $48 this past week. And then hearing them go back and forth about how, men ain't shit. I'm trying to save money. It's hold on, you pick a shitty man and you getting shitty coffee drinks. And I love hearing the bullshit go back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong. You hear me talk to a group of friends. We talk about dumb shit. We don't talk about nothing important. So I can't talk too much shit about them. But it's just the funniest thing ever. Most of my jokes are has to do with some kind of ladies in it halfway or the shit that they produce. It's a good compliment. They won't see it as that probably, but it's just the funniest thing ever, just having the ladies in a natural environment. I don't know why. It's just my inspiration so far.
I think that's relatable, though, because, one thing that guys always like to say is that we don't understand women. And so getting that perspective from another man on stage is very relatable.
Nah, that's true. It's not a saying. That's real. I don't understand women. I don't. That's real. But I've learned to not even care whether or not I understand them. You know what I mean? I'm at a point in my life to where okay. All right.
I feel you, man, because I'm married. Been married since got with her since high school, married for 2015, 2016. And there's some days where I'm you're the smart woman, but why the fuck do you have our kids running around butt naked? I just left 10 seconds ago and everyone's chilling cool. I come back in after getting the car cleaned out. Kids butt naked, throwing shit at the wall. You over there I don't know what to do. But then come on, one day you got them doing algebra and shit at 3 years old. I don't understand the fucking coexistence of you do dumb shit, but you do smart shit at the same time. That's just my lady. I can't say all ladies, but it cracks me up every time I point shit out and she's like, oh, okay.
Now, do you use your family a lot in your sets?
Yeah, I say about 40%. So yeah, a good amount. Mainly my kids. I have some jokes of my lady and I arguing, but it's mainly my kids because I got 2 boys. My oldest is a daughter. She's pretty smart. She doesn't give me a problem. My 2 boys, if they're not throwing something, destroying something, they're eating bubbles. And for the life of me, we've had bath time so many times, and I've seen my youngest scoop bubbles in his mouth and get frustrated because it's not filling him up in his tummy or whatever. And I'm sitting there my God, I have to tell this joke on stage. I'm trying to tell a 2-year-old, stop scooping bubbles in your mouth. He's sitting there like, they're fucking right here. Like, what you mean? Like, I've never thought to myself, I have to like use my kids in a joke. I didn't think I would, but it's too much gold there. It's too much random shit.
I see a lot of comedians that take their, and I do it too, personal life, you know, because it's there. The material just writes itself. And all we're doing is just sharing it with other people.
Yep.
You know?
When it comes to like the music industry and the same questions when it comes to writing jokes or writing music, is it an approach you're supposed to take? Because I know it's two different fields, but it's really the same. I mean, you're a performer, you have music behind you that has like an instrument, but it's still, it's you. If you mess up, we're gonna know it. If you don't hit the note or miss a lyric, we're gonna know it. So how do you prepare? How do you make your music? Because I've never really asked that.
It's an inspiration most times. It's like, you know, you've heard of the light bulb moment or the aha moment. Well, for me, I can't speak for every musician, but for me, it's like I almost won't really be creative until that light bulb goes off, and then it's like off to the races type of vibe. But mostly inspiration is what I go on, but mostly, you know, something that inspires me, and a lot of times it doesn't, the material doesn't necessarily have to be about me, or I can embellish the material to kind of hide the realism that goes on within my life and whatnot. But mainly inspiration, you know, just inspired. What are some of the hardest things that you've had to face during this time that you've been practicing comedy?
Easy bombing, man. Like,
yeah,
I know they call it bombing, and I see why. It just feels like you're on a helicopter or a plane that has no joystick and you're going down. Only reason I say it, I'm not scared of rejection or failure. It's the scariest thing is having something you work on, something you practice, something you think is hilarious, and you deliver it in a way you think
and
is
don't
good.
stick. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know what to fucking do. I put the time in. It's just it's devastating. But then I remember a local comic, Phil Porter, I'm talking about it, and he said something that still sticks to me now. Just fuck it. And it doesn't sound profound, but it's so helpful, because nothing you do in life is gonna be great off rip. Even if you are great down the road, you're still gonna fuck up. So if you have a mentality of, I'm gonna go out and do my best, if I don't, get it or make it happen the way I want, fuck it. Because what can you do then other than like get mad about it and have kind of bad feelings, or shake it off, keep moving, do better. It's hard to do, easier said than done, but man, bomb is easily the hardest part. I'm lucky to say I can only think of 2 solid bombs. One was about half bomb. I think I brought it back in the second half, but 2 I'm thinking of, it was quiet as hell. It was painfully quiet. I'm talking about you can hear the ice hit the drinks.
When you have those nights, like, what is the motivation to go back and try and tell that joke again? Because you can either tell it the same way and potentially bomb again, or tell it the same way and the crowd actually gets it, or you can rewrite it and then try to re-deliver it. So when you have those hardcore silence, what brings you back up there the next time?
The rewrite, the last part you said, the trying it again. Because my thing is, if I don't have to be a fool myself, but if my head, I think something's funny or joke worthy and it doesn't hit, I gotta try at least one more time to say I gave it a good shot. And I could say that one of the 2 jokes I'm thinking of, it definitely worked, but the second one was no good. But me rewriting that joke, it worked the second time around. It just matter of moving some things around. But what motivated me to do it was just I can't go out like that. I don't know. Could be a thing of pride or whatnot, but I just felt like that night when I bombed, I was like, man, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe try somewhere else. So it's tough, but yeah, like you said, you gotta try to again rewrite it something.
That's the hard part, though, because I see a lot of these comedians, man, they bomb and then I don't see them for weeks.
Really?
Yeah. And maybe they're going somewhere else. Like, that's what I tell myself. Like, because some of these comedians are hilarious, but they'll have a really hard night and then I just won't see them for a while. And it's like, did you go somewhere else? Did you quit? Did you take some time off? But then like I do it, you're talking about it as well. You just have that bomb and it's like, I can't let that be the end of it. I find this hilarious. I have to figure out a way to make it work and rewrite it and go back up again,
And see, that's what I think open mics are about. You know, it's like it's almost the equivalent of like going into the studio and cutting a record versus being live on stage. The studio is where you go to fuck up. You know what I mean? Same with open mic. You're testing out the material there. Like when I used to do the open mic circuit and whatnot, I would sometimes sing songs that I wouldn't normally sing in just like a normal circumstance. You know, you had the live band and stuff like that, and you're trying to figure out what records they can play behind you, what records they're familiar with that you can actually sing. So if you have a bad performance, no biggie. You know what I mean? That's when I think of open mic night, I think of that type of environment. I don't know why someone would not come back because they had an off night.
Well, it's humiliating.
Tough,
yeah.
It hurts. I ain't gonna lie.
Does it?
Yeah. Because in the studio, like I've been in the studio with you before.
Right.
If you go off key, you could just hit stop, start over again. No big deal. But when
Right.
you go to an open mic or just a comedy show and there's a room full of people and you go off key, everyone saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it happened. It happened plenty of times. And but again, I felt like I was trying stuff because normally you're singing covers because in New York City, I was singing a lot of covers. And even when I rap, I would tell the band, play some Shaka Khan, like something that they knew. And I just rap over the Shaka Khan record and whatnot. So, but I don't have Shaka Khan in my arsenal of my own records. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm up there just trying whatever. So I've never gone to a comedy open mic, but in my mind, I'm thinking it's got to be similar.
I think for sure.
Yeah.
I think so for sure. Yeah. And some people show up and they just kill. Like they're like professional level. And it's like, what are you doing here? And then other times someone will go up and they're brand spanking new and have clearly never been on stage before. So you get a wide variety of stuff. So you've been doing this since March. What's the longest set time that you have? What's the most you spend on stage?
8 minutes. And thanks to Carmichael's, Caleb Lee, his name is escaping me. He knows exactly who it is up in Carmichael's. Caleb Lee and his partner in crime, Jeff Allen.
Okay.
First time up there, they're like, "Hey man, I mean, we like to see how people all around come up. So do your thing." I asked him how much time. He said, "How much you want?" So I said, "Bet." And I said it confidently, but I'm walking away. I'm thinking, "Fuck." I came up here for 5 minutes. Now I did 8 minutes though. It was really good. I did my 5-minute set and then I just brainstormed and thought what other jokes I throw out there. And it worked really well. Carmichael's is a tough place to go. It's a great place I recommend for all comics. It's tough because it's a little loud in there. The people there it's Dayton's finest. So if you ain't funny, they don't give a fuck. They're going to turn around and start drinking, talking.
Right.
But if you are funny, on the other hand, they're going to turn around, look at you, give attention. So that's rewarding. I remember my first 60 seconds, it didn't go good. My first joke was kind of flat. They turned around on me, started talking. And I remember my second joke hit a little bit. The same guy turned back around. So that place is very, very good for people who are shy or soft-spoken like me. But yeah, that 8 minutes was the longest I've done so far. The next longest is 7, and then everything else was 5. It felt like an eternity too. I'm sure you can speak on it too, Brandon. I don't know what it is about 5 minutes in front of a light, but it feels like it's 50.
Sometimes,
8 minutes felt like,
that's what I was gonna ask. How long is 8 minutes like on stage? How long is that?
it felt like a whole hour special. Yeah, I got off stage and like my drink wasn't even like that much watered down. It's only 8 minutes, but it felt like, God damn, I got another drink, something.
Right.
But, I'm happy it happened. But what about you? What's long as you've been on stage?
The longest that I've had actually is only 6 minutes. I had a 5-minute set and I didn't see the light and I got another minute out of it. So yeah, I haven't ventured outside of that. That was one of the reasons I wanted to kind of pick your brain on that, because when most of these open mics are 4 to 5 minutes, occasionally you'll find one that's 3, but typically it's 4 to 5 minutes. So when you're doubling that stage time, are you preparing to do more material? Or it sounds like with this one, you just kind of got there and they said, hey, you can have whatever you want, and you just swung it out to 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, I got lucky. They just say have whatever you want. It was my first time up there. I think Caleb seen me before. Jeff seen me before, so he kind of figured I would have some ammo. But my process, because at some point, if I'm lucky enough, I will get a 10-minute set or maybe a 15-minute gig. Who knows? And if it does, my plan is just to break it in threes. So if it's 10 minutes, twos, do a 5-minute set, and then to submit, give myself a halftime, do some crowd work. I haven't done a lick of crowd work yet. I don't know how it's going to go, but that's how I imagine it'll go. 5-minute set, crowd work, do a couple more jokes, 10 minutes, high five everyone, go off stage. But
Yeah.
you know how it is. You think of something in your head, and in real life, it goes a different way. But I'm pretty sure the 10-minute gig will come up probably next spring. I'm not sure how or when, but there's plenty of opportunities I've seen this past year. So I think next time around, I'll be more equipped for it.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you have a plan ahead and you're thinking next spring, this is where my goal is going to be. All forms of entertainment. It's what's the next step? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't even ask you presented
Right.
a future plan. So that tells me that you're thinking in the future, and that's great. That's awesome.
I'm trying to, but not as much as quote unquote making it. My buddies, I'll use Harrison, for example, buddy Harrison Butler. He's been doing comedy for years now, almost 5 years now, I want to say 4 or 5 years. And I would put him in the category as going for it, trying to make it, because he's doing comedy almost every night. He has gigs that I know of. I don't know his pocketbook, but I know he's getting paid for some of these gigs. And talking to him, he's explaining to me that in order to get these things, you have to keep doing open mics. And before I even thought about gigs, my main thing is do this for fun. Do it for fun for 4 years. After a year, check in, see if you want to keep going. But I'm already 9, 10 months in. I'm like, I want to keep going. I already know that. So I don't put myself as trying to make it, because you have to sacrifice so much, make it in the entertainment business, whether it's comedy, music, up front, meaning you go somewhere without getting paid, you promote yourself, you put yourself out there with no risk of compensation.
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing, because if you make it, then no one can tell you shit. And you have more confidence in yourself because you did without any help. But the hardest part about all that is, like, I can't imagine myself taking 4 or 5 days of nights of the week going out doing comedy when I got 3 kids at home. The people who have kids and do it, I commend them, I respect them, but it ain't easy. So my goal is just to have fun for a while, and then 3 years from now, look up and then rearrange myself. But everyone I talk to says give it 10 years to get your voice. So for me to even think about something past 10 minutes would be kind of foolish, because I don't know the fuck I'll talk about.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna ask. What keeps you motivated to do it? Because a lot of it for my guy Brandon, I'm really impressed with the fact that he goes out alone. What keeps you motivated?
I love comedy, man. It's a beautiful thing to make people laugh. You can attract more bees with honey than vinegar. And in my lifetime in business too, I've gotten so many contracts, so many networking buddies from just being, I guess, not want to say nice, but just, having an open kind of demeanor, a friendly kind of demeanor. So I can't see myself going away from that. I want to see myself grow, but I want to be patient. It's tough. I want to grow and get, I guess, better at comedy, maybe my name out there more. But 1, I'm shy, and 2, it's like, why put yourself out there full blast for the world to see and you ain't got nothing stocked up? So I just want to approach this as just building up my repertoire, building up my ammo. But the motivation I get is just from loving comedy and just wanting to make people laugh. I can get more out of people if I can make them laugh. If you make someone laugh, make a girl laugh, get off her pants probably. If you make a bunch of dudes laugh, you get the money out their pants. So I figured if you can make guys and girls laugh in general, the world's yours, whether it's business, whether it's you being a gigolo or even working at McDonald's. I don't care. Laughter is a great cure, a great joiner, what we're going to call it. So being a part of that is just the main motivation. It's cool. I mean, I don't know how else to break it down. It's just cool to be a part of.
Do you, like, out in your natural world, no comedy, no stand-up, no microphone, just out meeting people, working, hanging out with your buddies, are you the funny guy?
I like to think so, but they probably think of me like a dumbass. Because my comedy is always stupid shit. Stupid shit that, the fuck you talking about, Walt? So in that regard, sure, yeah. But the funny guy in our group is in Columbus, Zarin. His name is Aaron with a Z in front of it, Zarin. So that tells you everything right there.
Because I like to try to drop jokes in like constantly, and that was one of the reasons why I turned to comedy, is because just in normal conversation, just comedic moments come out and people will laugh, and that kind of gave me that arrogant confidence where I go, you know what, I bet I could recreate that in front of a room of people.
Right. And Brandon tells what I call like straight face jokes. Like we can be having a conversation that he'll just throw in something funny and won't break stride. It's just insane. He's been funny a long time.
Thank you. I try. So the reason I asked that is because, like, I don't know exactly what, I know you own a gutter company, and I kind of want to get into that a little bit, but like, I don't know what your day-to-day life is like. When I'm at work, I spend a lot of time walking from, we have several buildings on the campus that I work at, and I have to commute from building to building throughout my entire day. And similar to you, like, I just kind of think of off the wall things that don't make any sense, and they make those topics make me laugh, and so I'll build jokes out of them. So walking like back and forth from building to building, I've written a brand new joke just out in the world, and then I'll take those jokes and like try to throw them out at people, you know, in conversation, and just kind of see if they land before I take them on stage. And so you were talking about your process earlier. I was kind of curious if that's relatable to how you do things, or do you straight wait until you get on stage to see if it works?
I like to, as I'm working, think of something, stop what I'm doing, whether it's on the ladder, on the roof, on the ground, write it in real quick, and then keep going. And then what I like to do is, on the way home from work, I find myself doing is I might look at the note because I'm stuck in traffic and say it out loud on the way home. I found a lot of funny, and I worked out a lot of jokes in that, just in traffic jams, because one thing I know is I go everywhere for work, and I go where the place calls me. So I'm always on 275 or 75 on the way home. So you can imagine I'm sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I've always worked out my jokes during that time. I've always tried to do jokes or look at something, worked out at lunch, and then how can I make this a joke and think of it out loud? So that's how that came about. But when it comes to gutters, I got into the gutter world on a random tip. I don't want to get this long story, but long story short, I went to University of Cincinnati for criminal justice, graduated, had 8 internships from the ATF, DEA, Cincinnati Police, and I realized in little internships, I do not want to do this shit. That shit is real. There's a lot of stuff we don't think about. And I'm kind of salty because I didn't realize none of that until I'm in the internship, like a piece of paper away from joining. But long story short, I'm not trying to sell guns and drugs to dope boys and chase them down and catch bigger fish. Like, it's beautiful that they do that, but that wasn't me. And then sure enough, my buddy, I did gutter jobs with him before. He was like, hey, help me on this job. And then ever since then, just kept getting into gutter business more and more, saved up money, got my own materials, my own tools. And this is probably year 8 now, and I love it. I've always hated having a job, not because I don't want to work. I'm a hard worker, but like, I can't take direction from someone who seems like a dumbass.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying?
That is me.
Like, I respect authority. I respect someone who got some, experience. But if I have a conversation with you and I feel like you're slow, or you just ain't got nothing to offer me, not in a negative way, but as in like you ain't got no sense, I can't even work for you. It's hard for me to show up for you.
I can't do it. I just can't. I can't. I can't. It's like last job I had, the supervisor just won over me. Went to private school in his youth, graduated from University of Tennessee. And he told me all of that. And I told him, I was like, and here you are, working right next to me. I ain't do none of that.
That's the truth, though, yeah.
I mean,
I realized after graduating from college, I didn't need a fucking degree, and I'm pissed. So when Biden was talking about loan forgiveness, I signed up so quick. I was so mad, which I don't know if we're going to get it. We're probably going to get it, but I remember thinking, probably 2 months after graduating. I'm a dumbass. I'm a straight dumbass.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of led me to where I am now, which is good because I got good skills from college. But like I said, got materials, saved up money, got my own truck. Me and my buddy joined up. He has already a bunch of infrastructure and contracts. I have contracts. We merged, and basically what I do day to day is I'm on the phone talking to customers. I'll come take a look at your property, go work on the properties, doing gutter replacements, some roof repairs. And I like to pride myself for being like a small business because I got 3 people total. Me, 2 other young guys come help me. And I kind of finesse my way in the system by giving people medium prices. There's only meth head prices, dirt cheap. My pricing, which is medium, like market, and then the big boys like Ray St. Clair, those ones, they charge way too much. So people see me and they see my prices. It's like an easy sale. So that's my niche in the business world. It's going great so far. That's my main focus. I want to grow that to where I can have more workers and, basically, make money. But when it comes to the whole approach of it, I don't want to just be chasing money because people I see in this business chasing money, whether it's comedy or the construction world, they're burnt out or they burn other people.
Yeah.
I can't speak on the comedy so much. Construction, the same ones that are high and mighty about being the fastest, the biggest, they burn so many bridges and fuck the people over. I can't get behind that because it's hard running a business. It's hard running a good business that puts people up. It's easy running a business that makes money for yourself. I use Jeff Bezos as a punching bag, but you got all those billions of dollars. You ain't get that money by treating everyone right. I get it. It's a choice. You can say, I don't want to work here, but I kind of want to avoid the mega business mindset because I don't like fucking people over. I'm a nice guy. I like to joke around, make people laugh. So it'll be opposite to fuck people over. So I just want to make people laugh, give them good construction work, reasonable price, maybe see a nice ass here and there. That's it. Not ask too much. Some simple things.
Are there any of the skills that you've acquired from owning your own business and having employees that you apply to your comedy world?
Yeah, the networking. Like I got lucky meeting you in Lexington, but I've met so many different comics from my networking skills I got from, I guess you can say, college or the business world. And just knowing how to talk to people. You go up to someone who's having a drink and you want to connect with this person, but you know how to approach it. Just say, what's up, man? Or, I heard about you. And that's the little skill that seems stupid is huge in the business world because most $1 million, $1 billion contracts are from late night bar conversations or from, I'm in the soccer game for my daughter and you're in the soccer same team, and they talk like that. It's not these board meetings that have these big mergers happen. That's where they sign the paperwork. The real work is done in the unconventional talking points, the hallways of meeting places. And I realized that early, so I've focused on that, and it's carried me for my business. And it's helped me in my comedy career so far from finding open mics, different opportunities and whatnot. That's how I found Alex from Taco Tuesdays, was from talking to him, I think, at Go Bananas. I think Harris introduced us. But just, businesses gave me a lot of networking skills, and now that's translated to a huge majority of my comedy progression, definitely business.
I think the hustle and grind too, because if you work for yourself, like if you're not out there working, you're not getting paid.
Right.
And I would assume that would help you in the comedy world because that you find shows to be a part of instead of waiting for someone to, text you or email you.
For sure. I think that, you're right about that. The hustle. I guess my hustle is disguised by love. I just want to get on stage and say, let me see if this stupid thing will work. But yeah, I hope that doesn't go anywhere. I don't want to get burned out. So far, so good. But yeah, it's the love of just being around comedy. And I enjoyed my turn, but I enjoy watching you. I enjoy watching new comics, watching people who I've seen before. And it's amazing.
Taking notes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned since you started?
People are amazing. I know that it's kind of cliche, but comedy has taught me that you can have someone who's in the crowd who just lost their wife, their house, everything. And if they can find a way to still laugh, then it kind of reminds me that, we are kind of built to endure and push forward. And we need moments of like pit stops, Pit stops can be going to sleep, going to a comedy show, you know, having sex, whatever you want to call it, something that brings you dopamine hits. And when people have trauma or they have a hardship, if they can get little bits of those dopamine hits along the way, we can power through anything. And that's amazing. You think about it, you can lose your house, everything. You still go on stage and have a great night and have a whole different mindset. And that mindset will power you to something different that you can never get. And me realizing that comedy can bring out of people, it's the little thing. I'm thinking of big picture, but mainly just people are amazing at what they can do. If you can make people laugh from talking about, you know, like I said, abortion jokes, then that's an amazing feat. You can make people laugh from talking about how you just got cheated on, caught your girl getting a train ran on her. It's like, that's an amazing skill. You can make a joke out of something like that or the other one. So, and then that kind of keeps me going too, just knowing that people can go through fucked up things, have comedy be a remedy or other things, for example, and just
Or
keep
at least
going.
a distraction. Or at least a distraction.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, distraction sound like a negative connotation. It's definitely good because our brain is just an engine. If you know we put a lot of negativity into it, we're gonna make some negative thoughts. We get some, you know, peaceful moments, distractions. It'll give us a lot more peaceful things or productive things. That's an amazing thing to think about. Just what we put in it can generate it. So that's amazing, just in general.
I love that your reaction to comedy is the audience and what they might be going through and the opportunity that you're providing of entertainment. Jerry Seinfeld in an interview, I'm going to paraphrase him because I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of comedians are there for the crowd. And a lot of comedians like to go up there for themselves. And you're not going up there for them for yourself. You're going up there for the crowd. And if you forget that, then why are you even here?
Exactly.
And I love that. What's a lesson that you've learned? And it's the crowd, and it's what the crowd might be going through, and what the crowd might be thinking, and what you might be able to do for the crowd. I think that's awesome.
And that's also the attitude that we take in being in a band as well. Like there's a saying in music, you got to give the people what they want. You know what I mean? It ain't about your ego when you step on that stage. It's not. You want it. You want to. MC stands for master of ceremonies, but it also stands for move the crowd. As a rapper, you want to move the crowd.
You said something that me and my boy were debating. So, are there any more MCs left? I know it's off a different tangent.
I'm one. You know what I mean?
You're one. I'm talking about mainstream. Like, I'm talking about
Give me a minute.
Like the difference between I'm thinking an MC and a rapper is like the look. The MC has the nitty gritty that can move the crowd, have different skills and repertoire. The rapper is about the look and about mainly, you know, what your status is. And I don't know if we have any MCs left. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like rap nowadays, but I understand why my mom and the generation before said the music was better, top to bottom, whether it's pop, rap, R&B. I just felt like they had the MC element for rap at least. So what made MC go away? Was it the crowd telling us we don't want that no more, or was it just what was that?
Well, in this day and age, and I get that question quite a bit. In the era of the internet, there's a market for everybody. So if what you're listening to are the top 40 records, the top 100 records that appear on Billboard, if that's what you're listening to, then no, you're not gonna get many, if any, MCs in that market. You know, Wu-Tang Clan is on tour right now. You know what I mean? You know, the MCs of yesteryear, a good 65% of them are still working to this day. You know, Nas just dropped an album last week. You know what I mean? So the MCs are there. You just gotta maybe dig a little deeper for them and whatnot. They're there. Nothing has stopped. There's a market for everybody. Just like with your comedy, you know, Sally may not understand what it is that you do, but Tom might. And Tom got 15 friends that think just like he does. So there's a market right there. Sally may not be your market, but Tom and his homeboys is definitely, they're definitely your market. You know what I mean? You got to know how to find where the market is. But yeah, they're definitely still out there. Definitely, for sure. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that's so tough about open mics is you never know who's going to be in the crowd, Tom or Sally.
Right. Right.
You know, you'll show up one night and Sally and all her friends just hate you, and it's the worst night of comedy you've ever had. And then like Walter said a minute ago, is you got to like try again and go back up and give it at least one more go. And then at that show, Tom and all his buddies are there, and you just murder. And it's like, I don't even know why.
So with that in our minds, I have this question I've been trying to ask over comics. What do you think? Who is the hardest group of people to laugh? I've been told don't look at comedy like that, but I'm going to ignore that for a second. If you have a group of people, whether it's ethnicity, race, sex, what's the hardest person to make laugh, in your opinion?
I think it depends on the joke.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
Like, I have some jokes that can be offensive towards certain groups of people.
Right.
Not because I intend to go up there and hurt anyone's feelings, but because I had an observation one day and it made me chuckle. And so I want to take it on stage and see if other people chuckle. And if I tell a joke directly to them, then they become the worst audience to listen to because it's just not for them.
Yep.
You know, but then if I take that same joke to a completely different audience that isn't relatable to the joke, all of a sudden the joke does pretty well because, oh, I've seen that. Yep, I agree. Ha ha ha.
And it can also be about delivery too. You know, and you've heard me say this time and time again, boss. Filet mignon on a trash can lid. Nobody's gonna eat it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bologna sandwich on a silver platter. You can sell it for $200.
Right.
You know? It's all about perspective, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah.
But to be real, though, I think the most difficult audience is just comedians.
Probably right. I can see that.
You know, because that audience is your peers, and they're judging you.
Yep. And if you can make them laugh, then you own it something.
Yeah, I've realized that there's been the rooms where I've been open mics with been mainly more comedians than actual crowd goers. And I remember a joke hitting with a crowd member, but not the comedian. And another joke hitting with both the comedian and the crowd. I remember thinking to myself, that joke's gotta be special. Sure enough, it was. But I have to agree with your comedians because they've seen a lot. They've seen a lot more comedy than the average person. And I just feel like it's, I don't know, making a comedian laugh is just like making a magician be amazed. Like, oh, yeah, you're going to whip your elbow. Oh, I've seen that before. Like, God damn, man, let me get it out.
Yep. You know, it's kind of like telling jokes in front of your friends versus strangers.
Yeah.
Like, your friends are probably going to laugh harder than the strangers will because your friends know you.
Right.
Right. And then the strangers, they're not in on the inside joke. So they're like, the hell's going on over here? I think the same thing kind of works with comedians.
I can see that. That makes sense.
You know, because they know. Plus, they might have even heard the joke before because if you're going to the same open mics as these other comedians are, they've heard the joke like 4 times.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, like I've seen comedians get up and leave when a comedian gets on stage and I'm like, what? Why are you leaving? You haven't gone up yet. And they're like, I've heard this like 10 times. I'm going to go get a drink. Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
You know, well, it happens. So that's why, like, when I walk on stage and I see people get up and leave, I just tell myself they're comedians.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Can't hurt me.
Yeah.
Look how you justify it.
Yep. I'm not bombing. They've just heard this one before. You know? So, Walter, what does the future look like for you? You talked about hoping to extend your sets next year. What other goals do you have?
I'm trying to divide them up into years. That's a long period, but there's only way I can really categorize it. But year 1 is just fucking around, finding out. Year 2, I want to have notes. Kind of the reason why you and I are making a lot of sets are because I want to have something to go off of. In the second year, I want to be able to take some jokes from year 1, refine them, of course, make new jokes, but just be better. And in year 3, 4, and 5, I want to be able to keep that process going, not just repeat and be stale, but keep building. Because by year 4 of me doing it, I want to be able to say I'm a comedian. And the reason why I want to do it, not because I want to be famous or make a lot of money. I know statistically, not to be a Debbie Downer, statistically, you're more likely to become a millionaire from real estate than any kind of entertainment, whether it's music, whether it's comedy. Not to stop chasing your dreams, but if you're going to be realistic about it, you have to keep that in your mind. So I'm going to try to do it for fun. If it turns into something bigger, beautiful, because I'm ready and I'm still having fun versus stressing about it. So year 1 and 2, year 1, fuck around. Year 2, hone in on skills, get better.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, 4, 5, I just want to be able to go to open mic in Kansas randomly and just kill it. My wife and I was talking about having a vacation next year, going to Florida somewhere. I'm saying one of these nights I want to actually go to a Florida open mic. I don't know how or when it'll work out, but when we go to vacation, go to open mic, try somewhere totally new, and just fucking unload my best of the best 5 minutes I have, wherever it is, and see how it works out. Because it's kind of like comedians, we're egotistical, but we're not. We need to know if we're doing well on something, if we're not doing well, if we got it still. So the only way to do that is to keep going out. So I just want to keep honing my skills. If I get noticed along the way, cool. If no one ever noticed me along from 1 year to 10 years in, cool. I'm so happy with it. I just want to make sure that I am getting better and having fun. So far, having fun is not a problem. Getting better is tough, but that's just the future. Just take it slow. Everyone that I've seen the Cincinnati stage is doing really well. Like Rand Barnacle, Barncarlo. He just dropped a special for the room, talking about how he's for the room. He's been in it for years. I haven't met him personally, met him maybe once or twice, but seeing him on stage and open mic just fuck around and kill, and then seeing his special and he's just killing, but it seems like he's just fucking around on stage. That's the kind of comedy that I want to look forward to. Looks like you're just up there winging it, just fucking around, but just slaying them. Yeah, and that's the best kind of comedy. So that's kind of the point I want to get to, is where I can just go up there. Hey, it's Saturday morning. Can you come up Saturday night and fuck around? Yeah. Go up on stage and kill. That's a dream to me, to where I can just whip it out and kill people with it, So that's where I want to go. Just get better. Just get better, get better.
Well, we mentioned Alex earlier, and he said something to me that I'm going to repeat to you. You are a comedian.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we were talking about it, and I'd only been doing it for a few months, and we were writing jokes, kind of spitting ideas back and forth, and it came up about how we introduce ourselves on stage. And I said, well, I'm still an open micer. And he said, do you keep going up on stage? I said, yeah. He said, and I don't remember who told him, but he basically said to me what I just said to you. Such and such told me this, and now I'm telling it to you. If you keep going on stage, you are a comedian. There's no line that determines at what point you can call yourself a comedian. If you're writing jokes and you're presenting them on stage, you're a comedian. So I share that with you because I hope that, 2 years from now, you don't think, well, I can finally call myself a comedian now, because you're up there on stage and you're doing well, and we're recording sets together, and you have those, other people don't. You're a comedian, bro. You should be proud. You should be very proud.
That's a new perspective. It actually makes perfect sense. You're already in it, so might as well call it.
That's right. Just because you're not touring for a living, that doesn't mean you're not a comedian.
Right.
Right. Like Ed Sheeran was a musician way before you ever heard of him.
Yep.
Sway's a musician.
Yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to call myself that, though. It's hard. Like, people ask, what do you do? I normally don't know how to answer that shit.
That's because you're a multi-doer.
Right.
Well, I rap, I sing, I write, I produce, I master.
I don't know what to call myself. I don't, man. It's because I'm a lot of times just having fun, unless it's a deadline. So it's almost like it's not even work. It's just like just having a good time, being creative,
What's the craziest studio session you've had so far?
Probably with my band Evolution. Let's see. I've been doing it 30 years, so there's a lot that I've seen over the course of you know what I mean?
You see some shit.
Yeah. So let me see. What would be my craziest session? I had a guy propose to his girlfriend in a session once.
You say yeah?
Yeah.
Were you recording?
Yes, I have the video.
Hey, that would be a mean diss track. She said no.
Hey, you know what? You know what, boss? You know it.
Uh-oh.
You know it. Yeah, that was pretty bizarre. No, but I've done a lot. I've done. I produce television, radio. We're doing podcasts now. So yeah, I've seen a lot of crazy things. But I think that's the one that just kind of sticks out is the fact that he staged it to where like he was behind the mic, like as if he was cutting the record, but all the while he wasn't really cutting the record. And then he just pulls this ring out and was like, blam. And then he'd said some rhyme and he was like, marry me. And everybody in the studio just kind of stood up and was like, what the hell is happening right here? And everybody's anticipating what Shorty's gonna do, whether she's gonna accept or not. Thank God she did, even if it was just for camera's sake. I can't confirm or deny that part, but just thank God that she said yes.
Hey, yo, cut the beat. This bitch ain't.
Right. Right. But she did, if nothing else, she played along. You know
There
what I
we
mean?
go.
No. So
That's
it was
what's
all
up.
good. It was all good. Yeah, big shout. I'll tell you who it is off camera, boss.
Walter, do you have any words of encouragement for people that are at home and thinking about getting on stage, but just haven't taken the initiative to do it yet?
Yeah, I would say it to people who are trying to get on stage, whether it's entertainment or just in life. Fuck it. I mean, we're going to die one day. Not to be pessimistic, but we know we're going to die one day. We know we're going to fail no matter what we choose to do. We know for a fact that things are going to go terribly wrong if you're set up to where things go perfectly right. You can have everything lined up and itinerated out and planned out and something crash it all. So if you have something that you know you want to do or you're passionate about, fuck it, just go for it. Just start. It's cliche, but it's the best advice I can give. Just because after I got out of college, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, but I love working with my hands. Naturally, I love meeting people and just the business in general. And I got lucky finding my calling with gutters. So I would never found it if I just said, nah, I'm gonna focus on this. I just said, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. Fuck it, I'll keep going. Just like with comedy, I told him, Buddy Harrison, I'm scared as hell. He even said it, fuck it, just go.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, I did follow my own advice. So fuck it, got up on stage. I love it. Even the nights where I bombed, I'm still so happy that I did it because the next morning, like the drive home was fuck the drive smoking blunt just sorry, but like the next day, the next morning, you're like, I'm happy I still did it. Fuck that crowd, that was hilarious. You kind of get beside yourself and just say fuck it, and that's the best advice I can give to anyone. I give my kids the same advice. When they get older, they start getting nervous about things. Fuck it, try your best. Now, if you go out somewhere you don't feel like trying your best, don't do it because it's not going to work out, more than likely. But if something you're scared about doing or something you need, just, man, the best word is fuck it, man. I really wish there was a more eloquent way of saying it, but if you apply that to so many things, it works. Kind of like with how they found, penicillin. I think he was trying to solve something else.
Yep.
He did something, fuck it, try this formula, and then realize it. Kind of like how they figured out fucking Steve Jobs, how he got Apple. I know that they had a lot of money coming from Microsoft when they had that whole mouthy breakup, but he said, fuck it, I don't have much money. I don't have anything but like garage going. Fuck it. And look at how they have same Bill Gates, same Jeff Bezos. Even go to small like Ray St. Clair, who's a big roofer in Cincinnati, multi-million-dollar company. Started with the garage. Mueller, right from the garage. They said, fuck it, let's keep going. So me knowing all that, I'm going to keep saying fuck it along the way. And got me good so far.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's the attitude to have too, really, is to just keep going. Keep going. I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned since like COVID is to just keep going. Yeah, I mean, get to that finish line and see what's on the other side of it. That's profound. Very, very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Who'd have thought saying "fuck it, be beautiful"?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you never know until you try, you know. And with comedy, even if you bomb, that's inevitable. You know, everybody bombs.
Yeah.
And, you know, just go back up. Just do it, man.
Do you have a strong support system?
Yeah, my wife is very helpful. The agreement I have with her is me going out at night to these bars once a week. Doesn't sound great when you say it out loud, but she knows I've been a fan of comedy my whole life. She knows that I'm a goofy guy. And the way she sees it as is, as long as she has hope, you know, with the kids before I head out, because most of them start like at 7, 8. The kids go to bed at 8.
Right.
You know, she's like, hey, do it once a week. That way you have time for the kids and me, and to make sure you help you get in the bed PJs on at least. Yeah, I got your back, let go out. And it's a beautiful thing because it's a support system, because she knows that even if I stopped doing it a month later, she would still, you know, support me, saying, oh, I'm happy you did it. But even being 9 months in, 10 months in, she's like, you know, I'm happy that you're still doing it because you seem happier. You seem like you have a purpose. I can tell you're getting better from, she's seen some of my sets. And you know, she's definitely helped me out a lot by watching the kids, because I got 3 of them. But yeah, I have to say my wife, she's a great support system. If she was more against it, saying I don't want you doing it at all, I'll probably still do it, but it will be a lot tougher.
Oh yeah,
that's how much I love you. Yeah. I still love comedy enough. I told her I'm gonna disobey you, what you're saying, but she's very, very helpful when I commend her for that. But on the downside, I have to basically take her out to dinner a lot more. It's more expensive, and like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Small price to pay, Jack.
Like we've been together since 2010. Like there's times we dinner, I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I love you, babe, but like I don't. Yeah. What the fuck we doing here? We just get some breadsticks and chill out.
That's peanuts. That is peanuts, Jack.
We will never understand.
Right. Wow. Where can they find you, man? How can people find you?
I don't got shit for social. I'm a quiet, shy guy. I got Facebook. My name's Walter Richardson. I don't post most jokes. You want to really get me? Snapchat. My Snapchat is @wetwillie5511. Or type in my name, Walter Richardson, on Snap. I'm posting pictures and videos of me on the roof, fucking around. I post goofy shit, funny shit. I'm not on social media a lot because I'm addicted to that shit. I will watch a lot of funny videos and twerks, so I try to stay off of it. So if you want to catch me and see more of me, I'll be happy to do. But add me as a friend on Facebook or join my Snapchat. My Snapchat's lit though, so don't join unless you're gonna snap back some lit stuff. That's all I gotta say.
Dig that. Make sure you put some text on the screen in this part, boss.
Yes,
so
sir.
Know how to find this guy, make it happen and whatnot. You know what I mean? I've enjoyed.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it a great deal. You're funny in a unique kind of way. Let's just say that.
That's the way it says on the other shit.
Yeah. See, I'm all about the encouragement. I'm not about the discouragement. So my role is to give you the words for you to keep going. You know what I mean? Brandon and I have been in a band together for 17 years. And this stand-up thing is very new to him. Not only that, but this is really like the first big thing that he's done without a crew, too. Like, 'cause we're here in Tennessee, he's out in Kentucky, and he knows that, you know, I'm probably one of, if not the biggest supporter that he has. And for me to not kind of be there by his side while he experiences his journey right now, it kind of saddens me a little bit. But the one thing for him is that I don't want him to give up on it, even when it gets hard. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna get hard, you know. And even if you make it to the other side, that's a new beginning. You may have conquered this part of it, but you're like I was having a conversation with my youngest daughter. She's in 4th grade. This is her last year of elementary school. And I was like, but after 4th grade, you're the little kid all over again in middle school. So, and it just starts over. You graduate to the next level, but you're still just the beginner. So more than anything, man, comedy looks like you're doing a lot of stuff alone by yourself, and being self-motivated sometimes can be very difficult. But I want to encourage you too to please just keep going. You know what I mean? Keep going. Because doing stuff by yourself can be one of the hardest things to do. You know. And if you need me to call you on Tuesdays and be like, yo, break a leg tonight. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. I'm the cheerleader type, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's real.
Keep it going, man. You know. It's all good. I'm glad to have met you.
Yeah, man. We
And
really
you said you're in
appreciate you.
Tennessee, man. We gotta link up somehow. I don't know how, but the open mics everywhere. So
Yeah, we got some out here in Nashville. I've been sending some to Brandon, let him know that this spot does them, this spot does them, and something like that. And Brandon's from Tennessee. That's how we know each other. I don't know if you knew that, but Brandon and I
born and
from the same
raised.
hometown. Yeah, we're from the same hometown. So, and that's how we met. And then that. So,
Yep. I'll be
Yeah.
bringing open mics to Tennessee next year. That's one of my goals for next year.
mm-hmm.
Start heading south.
hell yeah, let me know. I'll pull up on you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They say Nashville's the white Atlanta, so I want to check it out.
It ain't.
You're not wrong.
I remember going to Nashville
that's
one
funny.
time, being down the fucking strip. Man, y'all love y'all some country. Don't get me wrong. I can see why y'all love it, but god damn, I ain't seen that many country bars packed together on one street since God knows where is it? Is it Bourbon Street? Was it next to the stadium?
Broadway.
Yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah.
God damn. It was beautiful though, but I'm like, white people going crazy. I've never seen this other than Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating and scary all at the same time. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man. Like even if you're not a country fan, you go downtown, Broadway, 2nd Avenue, you will leave. You may not even remember what songs they played, but
Right.
you rocked out while you were there.
Right.
Yo, what song is it? Because that happened to me. Shake it for the birds, shake it for the bees, shake it for the catfish swimming down deep in the tree, for the crickets and the critters and the squirrel. Shake it to the moon, shake it for me, girl. I don't know who the fuck made that. That's a banger. It's always an old song, old country
I have
song.
no
That's
idea.
A fucking banger.
Nah. It is.
Shake it for the
Luke-
young bucks sitting in the honky tonk. I don't know what the fuck it is.
You
but
know a
that's
lot of the words though.
Yeah.
It was a banger. It's a banger. That shit hit. I had to play it back in my car. I'm like, okay, I got it on my Spotify playlist.
You was like, that's just verse 1. Let me tell you verse 2 real quick.
Oh man.
You're
Dig
right
that.
though, man. You're right though. Nashville is definitely something I want to go back and visit. I've only been to a couple parts of Tennessee, Cookeville, and just driving through. But yeah, I want to check out Nashville again. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I go for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll definitely go down. Well, I want to thank everybody for checking in with us tonight. We had Walter Richardson on, got some inside scoop on what it's like for the hustle and grind of comedy world. My name is Brandon Austin, co-host Sway Low.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Magic Show. It's the